So the first story I want to talk about today is it appears that after the success of having Kobo stream on Bilibili, the Chinese streaming website, Hololive has opened up some of their other non-English talents to also stream on Bilibili. Now, as I'm sure everyone watching this video is aware, due to the extreme toxicity of a subsect of the Chinese fanbase, which caused Hololive to leave the Chinese market in the first place, many people are upset, but some people are defending this decision, so I kind of wanted to go over the community opinion as it stands and see what people are saying about this announcement. The very first take at the top of the quote retweets is, "As long as Holo doesn't publicly apologize, this should be celebrated. It shows that Holo is culturally more preferable than CCP nationalism. They are welcome back with almost no issues. They just simply want a crazy culture battle." Other users mocking people who are still bringing up the Coco incident in 2024, basically implying we should all just get over it and move on by now. But as you can see, not everybody is on the same page, as I see a lot of comments like this, calling Bilibili a shithole, saying that if the Hololive CEO retires, they better get out of China, or it'll just become another corporate shill company, and accusing Hololive of only doing it for the paycheck. Other comments still saying the Chinese market doesn't deserve Hololive. Some people just saying it's over. One post I did find interesting was actually by a Chinese fan who said, "Bilibili is a company with a history of sexually harassing cover artists." So it seems there are even Chinese fans who don't like the platform Bilibili. But even though I'm seeing plenty of backlash against this push towards Bilibili, I've seen a surprising amount of counter backlash where people are just sick of people bringing up old drama and they just want to enjoy content on Bilibili in peace. And if you scroll long enough through the same repeated opinions over and over again, I managed to find one person who just seemed hyped. Out of what felt like an infinite scroll of complaining and counter-complaining, I found one person who was just excited. I'm so used to people on Twitter complaining and raging, it's almost refreshing to see someone who is just a fan for the sake of being a fan and doesn't have the baggage of all this extra drama tied to it. I will never talk down on someone just for being hype and just for being a fan. The content is made for the fans and I like seeing fans hype. Now the main segment of today's video is surrounding the VShojo open auditions. Now, I largely didn't cover this when they were announced a couple days ago because I, like many other people, assumed that we were just going to get a new wave of Nepo babies, and the fact that they were opening public auditions didn't really matter. Now, personally, my stance has always been that while I am extremely grateful to VShojo for effectively being the retirement home for ex-corpos, I was always frustrated with the fact that they announced open auditions but we're still only taking in big, well-known talents. However, Zentreya made a post that actually countered both myself and the community's preconceived notions about nepotism in VShojo auditions. Zentreya says, and I quote, "We'll be looking for all size content creators, big or small. We want to see your creativity and help you. I've been pushing for this, so I'm excited to meet new people and see what all of you can do. So give it your best shot, and I can't wait, get in there." Now, even seeing this tweet, I'm tempted to just call it lip service. I think what a person with almost 400,000 YouTube subscribers thinks is a small channel, and what I consider to be a small channel, are wildly different. So my preconceived notion is that while she may have said this in good faith, I don't think any quote-unquote small content creator, as I would consider it, actually has a chance. Now, while that was my initial assumption, I was swayed a little bit by a post she made yesterday, which in my opinion felt a little bit more open and honest. Personally, I find that people's words are a little bit more sanitized and cherry-picked when they're trying to stay positive, but are 100 times more honest when they're ranting. And that is why this particular rant held a little bit more sway from my perspective. And in this post, she says, "Heartbreaking and disheartening to see so many people pushing the idea of Zen friends only, when each person I found had to work their way to the top regardless. I have had other friends who didn't want to join, who are working their asses off and doing amazing things. I even pushed management to open auditions again finally after so long and to scout for new and upcoming people to mesh with. I wanted to meet new people and let others get a sense for them as well and see who would fit into the puzzle. Then I came to the realization that even if we bring in a new person, people will claim we focused on the new people instead of helping others who are halfway to success or other larger creators be a part of something fun. Either way is a loss. I just wanted to do something right and help smaller and up-and-coming creators, as well as have the potential to bring in someone on the rise. Management and Gunrun are working their butts off to do all of this, and now I feel as though I have made a mistake in doing this. Who knows? But I hope you will all still try, because I started from the bottom and I put in the work. Now, one of the things that I'm reading from this message that I really want to highlight and push forth is what I believe is a genuine, honest message, and that's the fact that no matter what Zen or the company does, there's always going to be haters. I feel like that is inarguably true. People are going to criticize VShojo regardless of the size of the people they bring on, because you can't please anyone. That is objectively true. And I'm also particularly interested in the language she uses in this paragraph. She says, help smaller and up and coming and someone on the rise. And the reason I want to highlight that specifically is because it sounds like she has multiple people in mind who are potentially going to be joining the company. 3, 4, 5 people that she might have in mind. And I think that's genuinely exciting. If Zen and everyone else at VShojo has found multiple people that they want to bring on and potentially get a proper wave of VShojo talents, I think that's very exciting. I find that tremendously exciting because what that means for me is I'm actually going to encounter talents that I haven't already seen before. I am almost embarrassed to admit how much VTubing content I watch. There's a reason I was able to make that video on underrated VTubers and why I could probably remake that video 10 times. This niche truly is my passion. And so for me, the potential to have someone relatively small but very, very deserving get skyrocketed from obscurity, someone in the tens of thousands get rocketed up to the hundreds of thousands because they were given a chance by a large company and people who genuinely saw their value and just gave them the shot that they so desperately needed. I'm very excited for a story like that. And the last thing I want to talk about with this particular piece of news is some of the community reaction, such as this comment who directly blames VTuber news/drama channels such as Kyo and Parrot 4chan, and they say this is the best way to form a group. Why would you even form a group if you don't like the other people? And I have 2 things that I want to say about this. Number 1, I don't think VTuber news channels are saying what they're saying about the nepotism in VShojo out of nowhere or out of malice. This opinion was a very popular opinion, and a lot of us are just reporting on it. And I personally don't think it makes sense to shoot the messenger in this case. This was the leading opinion long before we reported on the leading opinion. However, I do agree with their point. Unlike, Hololive or Niji Sanji, where you kind of get the genmates you get and you don't have a say in it, and if you hate your coworkers, you're just kind of stuck with them until your 1-year contract runs out. VShojo being able to cooperatively and collaboratively select talents that they actually like eliminates what I can only imagine is a tremendous amount of back and behind the scenes drama. I genuinely don't have an issue with VShojo only hiring other large creators that they're already friends with. My only issue is holding public auditions when people they don't know don't appear to have a chance. But now that Zen has said what they said, I think you're going to see a lot less of that sentiment being echoed all throughout the internet. The next comment I wanted to go over is asking, why are people so bitter? Again, because they felt like the auditions were a sham because no indies that weren't already friends with them got hired during the last round. That's why people are bitter. They go on to basically imply that the people who are bitter are just bitter that their personal application didn't get accepted, which I suppose is likely true for some of the people criticizing the open auditions, but I don't think it's the overwhelming majority, in my opinion. This next commenter saying, you can't change the perception of people in VShojo being a retirement home and a clique when that's what you guys do, poaching ex-company VTubers and having a big friend VTuber join VShojo. Maybe try doing it really first, having a real audition before ranting about what people see. And honestly, this is all bitterness and speculation until we see the results of these auditions. And it makes me genuinely excited to see the outcome of these auditions because I want more than anything for VShojo, the company, to stay true to what Zen said on their Twitter account. I want to see some fresh faces that I've never heard of before. And if that comes true, everyone who criticized VShojo is going to eat their words. But everyone's just going to keep arguing and bickering until that happens. So all we can do is wait and see. Next, I'd like to show a clip of Ironmouse talking about the recent auditions, and I will let her take it from here.
It's true. The VShojo applications are open. Please make sure that you are set to receive emails from talent at VShojo.com before submitting your application form. Do you hear me? You will only be receiving emails from talent at VShojo.com. I'm just letting you guys know you'll only be notified if you make it past this initial round.
A Nigerian prince that emailed me and said I made it in VShojo, and all I have to do is send a check for $5,000 is a scam.
Well, you know what? Maybe you're dumb.
Now, normally I wouldn't pay much attention to a comment like that, where she stresses which email responses from VShojo are going to come from. However, there have been scams in the past where people were pretending to send people VShojo acceptance letters and then using the information that they send over to basically commit identity theft. And the fallout from that was actually pretty substantial and damaged the reputation of VShojo for a long time, actually. So because of that, I felt it necessary to highlight that clip. The next tweet I want to go over is from Doki. And although she doesn't directly address the VShojo auditions, she did make a pretty lengthy tweet about the idea of hidden gems in the VTuber sphere. She starts by saying, "I saw a lot of talk about this, but I hope to see more companies and viewers take a chance on polishing hidden gems within the indie sphere. Joining a company is still ideal for those who are struggling to break more than 20 plus viewers, and there's more benefits having an established fan base of viewers." And I think that's absolutely true. She goes on to talk about how hard she worked to improve her content and about her own lucky break, but instead I'm going to focus on this next paragraph, this last paragraph. There's so many hidden talent streamers that might not be popular or make it because they never had the chance or the resources. It's a huge gamble to try and polish these gems into diamonds, but it's healthy for the growth of talents / new blood in the entertainment sphere. And yeah, I can't argue with that. I think that's absolutely correct. This tweet from FaZe Connect, and they're talking about an invitation to, quote, phase Alias. And it's relatively vague about what they're referring to, with people making guesses such as, does this mean Hime is going to be in Smash? Does this mean a 3D? Are we getting a FaZe Connect fighting game? Are they going to steal your kidneys? Now, if you actually click on the link and follow it, you'll be presented with a Google form for Secret Society Alias, along with what is very clearly a coded message. Now, I did put this cipher through a couple of common cipher models, but as you can see, no matter which model I put it through, it still comes up gibberish. So someone is going to have to actually decipher that. I also asked ChatGPT to decode the cipher, but it couldn't figure it out either. Now, I did put in an alias and a message, and it was not, as I initially suspected, an application form to join a new wave of FaZe Connect called Alias. So I have no idea what that submission I put in is going to be used for. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below about what you thought of today's news, and especially comment below if you have any idea what FaZe Alias could be, because my initial assumption was wrong and I couldn't crack that cipher. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, guys!